We've talked about what landing zones are, and we've talked about why they matter, and we've talked about what they can look like. But now let's talk about some of the challenges that you can have when you're implementing your landing zones. One of them can be a lack of consistency. So this really comes to things like naming. That's often one of the real challenges with creating things, is what you call it. So a challenge can be what is the consistent standard that you as an organisation are going to follow with naming things that you create, and also things like tags which are applied. That can be a real challenge to get right. The next thing would be spending time deploying and managing. You're creating quite a lot. You're scaling up, you're creating more and more resources, you're shutting down legacy things and moving them into the cloud. But now you find that you're spending a lot of time deploying and managing those resources. How can you handle that without having to grow your team to support that? Next would be non-compliance. You can be a victim of your own success by creating lots of things within the cloud. You're migrating a lot of applications, but how can you maintain compliance across all of those resources while still allowing people freedom to be able to do what they need to do? So that can be a real challenge to get right. Keeping up to date. We would recommend definitely following an infrastructure as code pattern to allow you to define all your resources as code. One of the consequences of that is, just like any code, it can become out of date if it's not kept up to date and looked after. So one of the things that we build our frameworks on is the Microsoft Accelerator, and that has frequent updates whereby a new feature will be added in. Azure may well create a new service or a new feature on something that you're using, and if you don't keep things up to date, then you're not benefiting from that new feature or service, and therefore keeping things up to date can be a real challenge. And finally, choosing the right solution. So there are a lot of different ways in which you can create a landing zone. You could go into the Azure portal and create it by clicking on all the different things. Microsoft includes an accelerator within the marketplace that you can use to create a landing zone based on answering a number of sort of simple questions. And choosing the right solution can be difficult at the beginning, and that's why it can really help to read and understand the documentation, understand the decisions that you're making and how they will impact you later on. And also it can really help to talk to a company like Appvia that has worked with a lot of different companies to implement landing zones that are right for them, and therefore can offer you advice on which solution should be the right one going forward.